Have you ever felt a burst of joy when you least expected it? Maybe it was a sunny day after a long week of rain, or perhaps it was hearing a friend's laughter after a time of sadness. Joy has a way of sneaking up on us, especially when life gets tough. Imagine being in prison. Not a modern-day prison, but a dark, damp cell with chains and little hope of release. That was Paul's reality when he wrote the Book of Philippians. Yet this letter from prison overflows with joy. How could that be? Let's find out. Paul, a man who followed Jesus, wrote a letter to the Philippian church. He loved these people deeply. He had shared the good news of Jesus with them, and they had supported him in his journey. But now, Paul was in prison for sharing his faith. You might expect a letter written under such circumstances to be filled with sadness or anger. This letter, however, is different. It's a letter brimming with hope and joy. Paul wanted to encourage the Philippians and remind them where true joy comes from. Even though he was chained in prison, Paul's heart soared with joy. He found joy in knowing that even his imprisonment was helping to spread the message of Jesus. He found joy in knowing that God was with him, even in the darkest of places. And he found joy in looking forward to the day when he would be with Jesus forever. Paul's example teaches us that true joy doesn't depend on our circumstances. We can experience joy even when life gets tough, because our joy is rooted in something bigger than ourselves. Our joy is found in Jesus. Section 4, Humility's Quiet Joy. Paul also encouraged the Philippians to find joy in humility. He urged them to put others first and to consider others more important than themselves. True joy, Paul taught, is not found in selfish ambition or pride, but in serving others with love. When we focus on ourselves and our own desires, it's easy to become unhappy and discontent. But when we shift our focus to loving and serving others, we discover a deeper, more lasting joy. This joy comes from knowing we are making a difference in the lives of others. Section 5, The Greatest Treasure. Paul knew that the world offered many things that promised happiness, wealth, possessions, and status, but he considered everything rubbish compared to the surpassing worth of knowing Christ Jesus. Paul's greatest joy came from his relationship with Jesus. This is a powerful reminder for us today. In a world that constantly tells us to strive for more, Paul reminds us that true joy is not found in what we have but in who we know. Jesus is the source of our joy, and knowing him is the greatest treasure we can possess. Section 6, Joy that Overflows. Paul ends his letter with these encouraging words, "Rejoice in the Lord always." I will say it again, rejoice. He reminds us that God is near and that we can bring our anxieties and requests to him in prayer. And he encourages us to focus our thoughts on things that are true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, and praiseworthy. Paul's message is clear. Joy is possible no matter what we are facing. It is a choice we can make each day. When we choose to focus on Jesus, his love, and his promises, we will find a joy that overflows, a joy that sustains us through life's challenges, and a joy that points us toward our eternal home with him.